Man, y'all already know what time it is. You are now tuned in with your guy, Joe T.
D. Johns.
And this is two grown men having a conversation.
2 for 2.
But how you feeling?
I'm feeling decent. I ain't gonna need front. Feeling decent, man. I woke up, didn't sleep well last night. I slept well to a point. Then I woke up at like 1:30, and 1:30 became 4:30. And just had some things in my mind that I have formally given to God. So today I'm deciding to have a good day. That's where I'm at.
Amen.
That's where I'm at.
Amen.
It's a choice today.
It's a choice today.
Yeah.
I like that. I'm trying not to be a little nosy about it.
I mean, you know, see how the conversation go.
Bit that.
See how the conversation go.
For
What's up with you though?
Man, it's crazy. I actually woke up around the same time and stayed up to about that and stayed up to about that time too. And yeah, and it's crazy because somebody was responding to because I checked my social media and I asked why was they still up too? Somebody that I seen. So I don't know, but my mind's just been racing about a few things.
For sure.
Not necessarily things I need to hand over to God. Sometimes it take me a minute to hand stuff over, to be honest.
Well, let's stay there for a minute.
Okay.
Because saying, really, I think I'm just in my head, and it ultimately boils down, how do you actually trust God? Do you say it or do you actually do it? Because sometimes I struggle with, is there more I can do though? And how far am I supposed to go? Like, you done all you can, you just stand. That's a cool song. But what is this? Like, what is my finish line of I've done all I can for this situation, and now it's truly, that's where I sometimes struggle. Like, man, if I just try, maybe if I slow down and listen, he's saying, hey, park, sit down somewhere.
Let me ask you this. At what point do you feel like you could be, because I feel like me personally, I feel like when it gets to a point of you're being drained, he's not, because things shouldn't drain you when he's centered or in it somewhere where you're looking for him. You just at that point probably just pushing through on your own, trying to whatever that is. And I'm bad at that.
Yeah, self-inflicted.
I'm bad at it. I reference this a lot, even in my teachings. He has to forcefully, because I don't know, like you said, what is the point?
Yeah.
And the point is when I see he forcefully do something. Yeah.
Yeah, when he take your feet from you so you can sit down.
Yeah. And then you gotta let that settle in on you.
Yeah.
How that feel for you?
Different. Like this whole last 3 years, this last year specifically.
Yeah.
I'm coming up on 2.5 years out of corporate.
Yeah.
Right. The first 6 months was vacation. Cool. 6 months after that, I was like, Year 2, it hit me, but we were still okay. Right. Year 3, it was like, whoa.
Yeah.
I mismanaged this whole thing. And sometimes I have to decide that it's, I don't want to say okay, because I think that's a trite expression that people say, and that's not really, let me get off people, I don't have the data, that I've said, and it ain't really how I feel. You know what I'm saying? Like things don't be okay, but he didn't say it was going to be okay.
Right.
He said he'll provide.
He'll provide.
And I have enough references of him providing, so why am I even in this place mentally? And then that becomes
that human in you, bro.
For sure.
That's that human. I do want to encourage you, man. A lot of times in them storms like that, man, maybe if it, I don't know, hard to see, hard to hear clear, hard to understand, he working.
Yeah.
In them times, we can't see he working. And a lot of times, I know in the book, I think it's Daniel, when the prayer got sent, it was a force that was stopping the message from getting delivered. He heard the angel told him, he heard you as soon as you sent the prayer up. A lot of times, even in waiting for that response, it's on its way. It's something blocking.
Yeah.
So you can to stop that comfort, to create that frustration, to create that U-turn, to create that all that what if. And he said he heard you and sent it. But on the way coming, something. So in a lot of people's middle after that prayer, he finna send that confirmation, that comfort, that whatever it is that you need, that encouragement, it's on the way. And in the middle of the enemy, right there.
Yeah.
Before it, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, this was not where this conversation was going. I think we're still gonna get to where.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, we was gonna get, but it's interesting that you say that. Yeah, it's interesting that you say that. It's not, like you say, it's funny that it's never funny. It's interesting that you say that because yesterday when when it was like the weight was coming down and I was feeling that I dropped the kids off, I was going to get my oil change. And a habit for me, when things aren't going right or I feel like I don't have control and I'm feeling like I'm about to turn down the path of rebellion, I'll put on some music that just puts me back into place. I ain't got no business. And I got through about one song and I was like, nah. And for me, like I grew up in the church, so I had to turn on a specific type of gospel that was saying words that put me back, my spirit back in place. Right. So I'm not, be clear, I'm not fronting like I never listened to hip hop and I got everything together. But just like when I said in the other episode, I never drank when I got down. When I get down and I put stuff in my spirit that doesn't lift me up, it makes me okay with being there. Cause then I'm riding down, I'm back in 96.
Yeah.
Windows down, I'm pulling up on people and now I'm like, man, I don't, who am I shooting? It ain't even me. But I got there yesterday and then I corrected much faster now. I will say that.
That's what's up.
Got some stuff in my spirit and then I actually got some potentially good news. It's not time to say on here yet. I'll wrap with you after. Just encouraging in terms of another one of those confirmations, like
you on the right path. Yeah. Encourage yourself through the middle. Yeah. Because sometimes you got to. Yeah. Encourage yourself through that, man. Went through that. Still go through it several times. I actually feel like I'm kind of experiencing that right now. You know what I'm saying? With something I don't want to bring up, but yeah, man, you got
I actually think I know, but I might be off but I think I know.
Yeah.
I
yeah. If
don't even want to make eye contact.
If it's two of them, okay. You know both. Okay. But, okay. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, other than that,
I feel I'm confident.
Yeah.
So confident doesn't mean everything's great, but I'm confident in his hands, being in his hands, and it's gonna work out.
That's real. That's real. But before we go in, you do got a little piece of something on your lip. I don't want to go, and then and then it was just right it was a little something on my lip. Right, you didn't tell me.
He trying to make good. Last time my whole face was chipped. I might insert. I don't know if you listen. You have to look at the video, but I might have to insert. My whole face was raining ash. Oh man. Falling off the whole time.
On a good episode, too.
And then the week after, he's probably one of the better episodes. I mean, at that time anyway. They keep getting better if you ask me.
Yeah, for sure.
But next week he came, man. I seen it as soon as I walked in, and I was like, all right, it be on.
Yeah, man. Man, you dropped the interesting topic, conversation. I think it's pretty hot right now, man. And it's the narrative of it, man, it's risky. It's dangerous. You know what I'm saying?
Literally.
Man, I'm going to let you.
Literally and figuratively. Like, share, and subscribe. I don't know if we got that off. He got through the intro flawlessly and it threw my whole thing off. That's probably why we took that detour. I was trying to bend the block. YNs, man, YN culture. And it was all fun and games until it wasn't for me at some point this week. Because it's something that you throw around. YN is my son of YN. I don't want my son to be like it's jovial, but it's not. And I started thinking about like me laughing it off, even in my house. What am I contributing to it? Just with that, let alone what I watch, what I post, or what I may say, other conversations I may have with other people. So that's where I was at.
Yeah. And it's dangerous, man, because like you said, they're laughing it off or even entertaining the videos, your comments, the liking the videos, man. You got to be careful with stuff like that because it's encouraging
somebody.
Yeah, I was YBs, the young brothers, who watching it and thinking, it's okay to embrace that.
Yeah.
They looking at it like, the hoodies, the whatever it is, and
the Pooh Shiesty mask and all that.
Yeah, how they carry themselves. They looking at it like, shoot, they embracing it.
Yeah. And so the young ninjas, I'll keep it. For the record, I say the word. I'm trying to.
Yeah.
God is dealing with me on that.
Yeah.
But young ninjas is what we're talking about, and again, making it culturally cool. And the other piece of it is like the industry pushing the narrative and selling it, and us celebrating that too.
Right.
Because they always invest in our demise.
For sure.
Entertainment industry in general. Not just music and, whatever. Film probably print as well. But yeah, I just, I want to kind of pull that thread and see where it go.
When do we as a culture realize that we have conversations that we do not heed ourselves?
Yeah.
We talk about how we need better role models for our youth. The people who making these videos are older people, men and women.
Yeah.
And then when something tragically happens, that's crazy. But you making videos that celebrate that behavior.
Yeah.
That language.
And we got to be careful as adults because maybe there's a distinction in our mind because of our life and experience, and how we live through some of that stuff. And we can say it and it can be a joke, not realizing that it's reinforcing. But a callback to something I think I said a few episodes ago about when I was growing up, the crew that I was running with, church crew I was running with, none of us smiled, so they called us too cool. That was reinforcing, don't smile because that's cool, right? And that is, as silly as an example of that is, at 12, you know what I'm saying? And what age do they start? They starting at 8, 9 now.
Yeah. And that's right, I think, reinforcing. Let's break down what that is, because some people, you just got to go deeper into what we're talking about. Because that was a good example. Can you give me another definition, another example of when you reinforce something? And it could be, do I want to use indirectly? You're contributing.
Yeah, in my house. Because again, as I'm learning, posting my opinion for the public, returns all kind of fire, man. And it's not that I care about it, but sometimes I'm just like, y'all are making it way more foolish than whatever you think. Anyhow, just keeping it on me because I have the data on me in my house. Riding around with my son. What I might say, or if we ride past a group of people when he's getting out of school, a lot of kids are walking. Son, doing the YNs right there. Me, I'm thinking I'm starting a conversation. But me, but I'm really saying discriminate against these people that kind of look like you. There's a little bit of difference with what they doing, but at the core, they could be my sons too. Yeah. But find yourself different from them because there's this negative connotation. Right. That's as close to home as I can bring. Yeah.
My daughter, she liked to rap. She liked to rap. She actually hit me yesterday and going to get her hair done. Said she's shooting a music video. I didn't even want to ask. And not asking, I guess they could be, or me not saying nothing, or her sending she's sending me her songs and I listen to them and I see she thinks she gotta tap into that to, and the first couple of times I listened to the music, I was like, dang, she good. How do I balance this and let her know I don't support this? Yeah. I wish you turn, I want to nurture the gift I see you have, but I don't want to make you not want to send me the music or not want to let me know where your head at or not have these conversations because now you think I don't support you. Right. It's tough. It's tough. I went on and bit the bullet because I shared it one time and she don't normally ask me to, you know what I'm saying? And I shared it on my story. And, my platform, what it is, people started responding was like, I know you're trying to, but Joti, I was like, well, they saying that about
That's my exactly.
Right. And so I did end up having a conversation with her about it. She know where I stand, at this point. She's 22, she making her own choice, but still at 22, if I don't say nothing, I feel like that's still saying it's okay. And you gotta let them know that's not okay. Is silence agreeing?
Sometimes if you've only been silent, I think so. If you stated your position clearly and it's understood, and now your choice is to be silent, I don't think that's considered agreement.
Okay.
But what threw me when you talked about your daughter's 22, my daughter's 21.
Mm-hmm.
My daughter does hair, right? So people come to she does twists.
Mm-hmm.
So who has twists?
Mm-hmm.
Us.
For sure.
And I can't say that because my sons have it too.
Yeah.
but when you said that's my daughter.
Yeah.
They're saying this stuff about my daughter. Like my sons, because I see them every day, somehow it's more acceptable. Oh, they're just my sons expressing themselves with their hair.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, I promise you, she had a client here, and sometimes she had clients back to back.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pulling out and I see a car with 4 young brothers in it. Now, young YBs in it.
Yeah.
Like, in my mind, they was YNs.
Right.
For no reason. No reason. Yeah. And my neighborhood, this is just my neighborhood doesn't suggest that. Mm-hmm. God will, not yet. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't suggest that I go outside with this energy. Mm-hmm. Bro, I was livid that they were parked where I back out. Not in my driveway, but across the street, making it more difficult. Like I had to do a 3-point turn instead of my normal. Bro, I am grilling.
Yeah.
Backing out, knowing I'm gonna pull up right beside them because I let the thing beep. How it's telling you getting close to the car that you about to hit. Mm-hmm. I let it go to beep. Mm-hmm. And then I backed up and I looked and they were looking at me like, "Hey, sir." I said, "Dang." I said, "Oh, I was preparing for some rock for
right.
No,
right.
no explainable reason. I'm mad that they parked across the street where they can park publicly, and I'm like, I'm going through my mind in my head. I was like, they say something like, I'm gonna cancel their appointment. They tell them they can't come. Like I'm already having a conversation with my daughter, not even really knowing if they're clients or not.
Oh, man.
But I pulled it. That dude made me feel so. He was like, "Hey, sir." I was like, "What's up, bro?" And I pulled off. And as I'm pulling off, I'm still regretting like that ain't nothing happened. What am I looking for to happen? Because I saw 4 young brothers in the car, and my mind went, pew.
Man, I'm glad you said that because of how it's being pushed, it can put you in that mindset when you see him.
Yeah.
When you see us, period.
Yeah. And
it's done me like that several times. It don't matter. In the mall, I've had that, and they just wanted to say, "Man, what's up?" On the approach now, though, I'm like, I'm checking pockets to see if it look heavy when I'm nervous. Like, I was at the court shooting ball the other day, man, and the dude came around the corner. He had on some joggers, and he recognized me from a distance. When he seen it, my mind went everywhere. Before he acknowledged me, my mind was already like, did somebody follow me? Is he, what he on? What you know what I'm saying? Did he see somebody at the court and was coming over here trying to run game? But a lot of that stem from what's being pushed. Like the narrative is in my mind.
You know what? Because the last post, sequentially the episode before this, so whenever you hear it, I think this is number 11, so it'll be episode 10. The post where you're talking about conditioning, the end of that clip.
Yep.
There were a few people that were saying that's not conditioning, that's just your experience. You recognize that there's a difference between us and them. And I was like, man, and that was part of the whole like YN thought. I'm like, a couple response. I was like, I think it's all of it, but
it's all of it. I would say it's all. I get where they come from.
Yeah.
I would most definitely go with me. My experience is conditioning. My experience.
Or do your experiences condition you to, like it's 1,000 ways to argue. The point is, I think the through line in all of it is we need to have more grace in how we see us.
How we see us.
But how you got here is people had strong opinions about that. Like, man, you ain't conditioned. You just you've been shot at. You know what I'm saying? Like,
most definitely conditioned too. Most definitely conditioned. Because what is the root of it?
Mm-hmm.
The root is condition.
Sure.
The behavior is from a root. It's been a conditioning.
And reinforces it.
And so it's a trickle down. The experience that I have was from someone else, that came from a conditioning of passing down. So that would be my perspective.
So it kind of confirmed what we've been taught to think.
Yeah.
And that's where your mind goes. And it's not like, I want to say, it's not like it's being taught in the classrooms. Mm-hmm. It's a whole lot of different ways. And some of it is more overt and some of it is not so much in plain sight. Mm-hmm. It's subtle. But you get to a place of, I don't know, because
let's use the Willie Lynch letters. The tactics, they still exist today. But if you ask a black woman who, if they were raw, a darker skinned black woman versus a lighter skin, because the tactic was to turn the light against the dark.
Yeah.
If you ask that question, do you look at it as conditioning, and you really know the tactic behind that over the years, and you never been educated on it, but you had experiences at school where lighter women, in your mind, you were told
more attractive. Yeah.
But you looked at it as an experience, not knowing it was a conditioning tactic from.
And I wonder what some of that comes. And I don't want to jump right into music and music videos, because that was a phase where it was, the lighter skin, the fairer skin, the long hair, of a certain type. And if you see that over and over, naturally you might gravitate to it when you see it in real life. But what you just said, like, something just hit me, was how it is conditioning. If you've ever seen the experiments with young black girls, young girls of color, 5, 6, 7, 8 years old, and they give them 2 dolls. One is white, one is black, or one is light and one is dark. They always say the more fair skinned one is the nice one, and the darker one is the one that's gonna cause problems, and one that's mean or what have you. That can only be conditioning at 5, 6, 7, 8.
Yes. That is conditioning. Going to the YN.
Yeah.
It's conditioning. If you go all the way back to the tactics, as far as, like, you can go light skin, dark skin, you can go build, slim, you could go from the things we wear. All of those are tactics over time that they have embraced in culture.
That determine what's acceptable.
What's acceptable? Yeah. What did the behavior, if that wasn't instilled, how would we think? How will we move? Yeah. Black Wall Street, to me, was built on people who were coming out of the conditioning. No, we're going to break bread with each other. We're going to build together, because they didn't want us to.
Yeah.
They came together. I didn't know them folks had helicopters and everything.
I didn't know that. I met a few people here from Tulsa. A couple people have been on the show. Matter of fact, the councilwoman for, what city is that? Couple cities, I can't think of the name. Anyway, it's a local councilwoman, Councilwoman Cherry. I was shooting her podcast, and she was from Tulsa, and they were kind of telling me about the history of some things that I wasn't aware of. Number one, it wasn't a huge conversation in my house, and that's not a knock to my parents. It definitely wasn't taught in school. I became aware of it, but some of the things that they were sharing about the culture and the history, and how deep it was, and how wealthy we were on our way to be, or that area was and was creating wealth. I was like, wow, that's different. But even thinking about in terms of where the behavior came from, the treatment of slaves. And that's another thing in the comments that, again, for me, it's only insight. It didn't infuriate me. But there was so many comments talking about there is no race. Get off of race. You guys, people are idolizing race, and you're supposed to be following Christ. And That's probably a better conversation independently.
Man, listen.
But it's almost like we're telling us we're over that period. Excuse it. Let it go.
The people.
Some of those comments were from us.
Of course.
Talking about stop making it about race. You can't ignore the world that you actually live in.
What's wrong with them?
That's like me saying my credit score is 850 because that's how I feel. That's what I identify with.
Right.
I can't go nowhere and use that if the things that I've done don't yield me an 850 credit score. I got to deal with life as it's been dealt to me. And again, I don't want to go too far down that. Not today. Mm-hmm. Well, you know, I mean, we are, but it was interesting to see. And it was hard to tell if some of that was rooted in defending, because it was supposed about Philip Mitchell, and you know that news cycle has probably spun the block a few times before this comes out. Mm-hmm. But some of the response, you could tell that they were just pro him and anything.
Of course,
and that's dangerous.
Very
dangerous.
We talking idolatry.
Don't stop idolatrizing.
Mm-hmm.
That a word? Stop making it.
It is today.
Stop. My sister going crazy right now. I know she's going to send this to me next week if I keep it in there. But stop making idols of race.
Yeah.
As we make idols of pastors.
Yeah.
And I say we to keep it whatever, because.
Call a spade a spade.
And the other thing was, your favorite man of God is not above reproach.
I made a caption yesterday. Don't trust the word over your pastor.
Yeah,
go ahead.
That's the human element. They're going to be flawed. So if your defense is of the human and not the word, buyer beware.
Yeah, anyway. yeah. And going back to what you said about people, we got to quit making. What did you say about race?
I really can't think of what making the race the idol.
Yeah, that's insane. When I hear our people say things like that. You know what I'm saying? Like
idolizing.
Yeah.
Why was I throwing a T in there? I was saying idolatizing.
I liked it though. I ain't gonna lie. I liked it. You know what I'm saying? This ain't our original language neither. You know what I'm saying? But that ain't got nothing. You know, they taught us this. But anyway, for us not to be okay with encouraging just us is insane to me. To not acknowledge how far behind we still are. We talk about we should get over slavery. It's a lot of them white folks who ain't got over losing their slaves.
And they don't have to.
Yeah, because they, and going back to the Carmelo Anthony, we see a lot of that stuff surface when we see situations like that. But when we having conversations like this about YNs, our mindset, our masculinity, our vulnerability, what we need to do as a community, as a collective whole, we can never get to that conversation. But then you got people who saying stuff like that, like, bro, we are still in chains.
Yeah.
Like the things starting with our youth still today, because I'm gonna be 30. How old I'm gonna be? 38? I'm gonna be 38 December the 2nd, bro. And at this age, I can remember I've matured to the point of I remember people before me reaching this age telling me things to come out of because of their experiences.
Right.
And now me doing that. And just over time, at what point do we as a whole stand on that? Because we give no room for them to have a YN conversation when the household looking like that and our community is walking like that. We give no room for that.
Yeah. We were having a conversation on another the sister podcast on this network, the Native Dear Son podcast about man code and what is it. We got to the point of the conversation. I was like, you know what? It seems like man code has a cutoff of maturity because you go through when you get to the age that, well, I can't say we're kind of in the same age bracket. You be 38, I'd be 46. But once you've lived through that phase of life that where typically you wild out to do whatever you want to do, you live life kind of loose, and you get beyond that. When you start telling people that are in that phase or approaching that phase, sometimes it's positioned as you hating. Well, you already had yours. Well, yeah, so I have information.
Right.
When can I give you the information? After you go through it, that it's not helpful. Now we're just comparing stories of foolery And now I'm 60 and you're 40. Do you want to hear about the 40 to 60 or you want to wait? You know what I'm saying? Do you want to wait for that?
And now you doing what I done.
Right.
Now you...
So, I mean, it's the same. It's like, it's the be careful of conversations or be careful of topics, but we use the term hypocrite when it's convenient.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you used to do it. Used to.
Right.
I learned some things.
Right.
Never said I didn't.
Right.
You got to let them go through. Okay. Maybe them, I don't agree, but I get your point. Mm-hmm. The people in this house,
mm-hmm.
I have a duty
mm-hmm.
to them. And I actually think that duty extends to whoever God actually puts me around in the space of influence to provide information, whether they accept it or not. That's really not.
Yeah.
It's more my issue in my house. But outside of that, like, how do we
lead you to the water, but can't make you drink it?
But you can't even lead them to the water no more.
Can't even get them there. Can't even get them there.
You can't even lead them to the water no more.
Man, I had a brother, man, Eshawn, shout out to Eshawn Burgundy, man. Me and him having a conversation because I needed to get his approval to play some of his music in 21 days. He put me up on a lot of game. And in our conversation, man, of course, we got to discussing the word. And he said something, man, that was so profound to me, man. I carry it with me now a lot. He said, the people who receive what you're saying, that's your tribe. He said, whoever ain't hearing it, bro, don't worry about that. Whoever received it or whoever, you know what I'm saying, kept, he said, that's the tribe you give it to. It's hard to do at times, but it freed me up a lot in trying to beat dead horses or casting my pearls before swine. Because sometimes, you know, it's a young brother that pulled up on me the other day where I met, y'all notice I said young brother, right? He pulled up on me. I was in the garage working out with one of my brothers. And young dude, he's 17, just turned 18 yesterday. He came over and he was like, and I didn't feel like he was, you know what I'm saying? When he came, I could tell it was his approach. Hey, man, how y'all doing? And he was like, man, if I can, you know what I'm saying, I'll work out. You know what I'm saying? Every now and then if I can with y'all. And in that, he seemed like one of them, you know what I'm saying, that'll receive, you know what I'm saying?
Information, yeah.
Yeah, that's who you get to, you know what I'm saying? Trying to go after. I know sometimes we thinking that young brothers still minds be a sponge, but sometimes they don't really embody what that is they believe makes them a man. That's the worst thing about the YN culture right now, the term. They thinking that's masculinity.
Yeah.
They thinking that's leading. And then getting into the awful parts about it, they think it's cute. They think it's attractive from women.
Because women are attracted to it.
Yes.
It's a multifaceted issue.
Yeah.
We're laughing at it.
Yeah.
I say we because I'm working my way out of it. So I put myself in that category. We're laughing at it, being dismissive of it as long as it's not happening in my house. Guilty of that. Right? A younger generation is finding it attractive. The guys are attracted to being, and the girls are attracted to being a version of that as well. And then it's popularized on social media. Like the whole, and I'm not going to point to a specific city, but like when it became cool to kill online.
Yeah.
I was watching I get in these phases, man, where I go down a rabbit hole of gangs in certain cities where they, you know, somebody goes in and kind of does an interview or a documentary on it. And this one was Memphis, and I forgot the guy that did it. It was shot really well. And a bunch of people that were in the YN, like saying that they are. So I'm not putting it on them, but like that's the life that they were living. They were like, man, the killers are respected here. I said, And I started thinking back to my experience growing up, going through high school and just after high school. You know who the killers are. And I think there was a level of fear that may have been confused with respect. But I don't recall
them broadcasting
like
it?
like the praise part
I mean, it's
part of it.
Same thing with the hustling, and I don't condone it at all. It's a huge thing now to show what you do, how you doing it,
and be confused when you get picked up.
Man, like the law did you wrong.
Free me.
I be looking at the videos. If I knew where they was at, I'd call the police on them. Yeah, you going to jail, young brother. Yeah,
Charles the White on them.
Hey, I'm with all that. I'm trying to help you. Yeah. I'm trying to save you.
Would you have a conversation with him on camera?
With Charleston?
I don't have an end. I just sometimes in my head.
I done been asked that a few times.
Sometimes in my head, I think my show is my show and this show, the shows are way beyond what they are.
Yeah.
If they asked me, I would, what I'm saying, I'd be going through that. Right?
It would be yes and no.
Someday it would.
One day I might say yes. Sometimes I might say no.
If you,
because I respect them, but I don't.
When you weed that garden,
yeah,
there's some decent vegetables and fruit coming up.
Yeah.
But the weeds.
Yeah. The weeds, they really outweigh at times. It's a yes and no. For one, I don't feel like you don't know who you're going to get.
That's exactly it.
You know you're going to get.
Like, what could I even add? Because for me, I wouldn't.
I got respect for him. Like you said, he'll come. But then I look at how many times now he just be like, man, I tried to do that. Forget that. I'm doing me.
Yeah, trolling for the sake of trolling. His trolls be abusive.
They be abusive.
How you say that?
Yeah, they be abusive, man.
I ain't mean to stand. I don't want to.
No, you good. He got a lot of the young brothers watching him.
Yeah.
He got a lot of the young brothers watching him. Yeah, man.
I know somebody that anyhow.
Yeah. I got his line.
Oh, what that is?
I got his line.
Let me walk out.
I got his line, bro. Yeah, man. Yeah, we in just as a whole, man, our community, man, behind, and a lot of, I wish we would highlight more of the men we don't see that's doing great things in the community, that's advocates, that's really putting in work. Our social media for our community is ratchet, is ghetto, is loud. You know what I'm saying?
A lot of it.
Yeah, a lot of it. Yeah. Yeah.
All of it ain't like that.
Yeah, all of that. Yeah, because that's so what they're going to say. But for the most part, I ask you myself, for the most part, when you get on your social media and you see us, how often do you see encouraging things?
Substance.
Education. How often do you see somebody really trying to show you how to rebuild your life? Mindset, credit, land, property. Like, how often do you really see large groups of large numbers of us, you know what I'm saying, overpowering the infrastructure that we know the powers to be?
Yeah. Salute to EYL, Earn Your Leisure. You familiar with that brand?
Who?
Earn Your Leisure, EYL.
Yeah.
I think they did a great job of aggregating the attention and pointing it to the things that are meaningful, man. So shout out to them.
For sure.
Shout out to them, brother.
Yeah, they got a beautiful thing going.
But what does it look like? Like, what's our responsibility? We had this enlightenment, if you want to call it that there's a responsibility that the part of it that we play.
We're doing it. We're doing a part of it in having these conversations.
Sure.
You're doing the most important part in the home, because that's where it starts. It starts in the home. You know what I'm saying? And then having these kind of conversations on the platforms where there is nothing but negativity, where you're trying to shine a piece of light in some darkness. Yeah. That's the second thing. That's the two majors. The third thing is finding ways to be active. But in that, going back to, you got to know the tribe. You don't want to just be trying to go out and seeing young brothers or getting involved where young brothers are, and it ain't a place where you're controlling the environment for them to retain.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah, or you're welcome. Yeah. You'll waste your time and energy. You really got to find young brothers who open, to receive that, man. And this right here is great. And this is how I know, because the internet is powerful to the point of where people who got questions can DM you.
Yeah, and they do
all the time.
Yeah.
Whether it's a thank you, I know you heard it, or a comment or something, or then a lot of times it leads to questions like, bro, I was listening, you know what I'm saying? I ain't really got nobody to talk to. That's work.
Yeah.
You know, so we doing something, you know what I'm saying? It ain't that we ain't doing nothing, you know. We did choose to do, you know, you've been doing it, to do, you know what I'm saying, something positive. So I would say that the work is at home, though. That's the hardest part, bro.
I think an important thing to note is that all of the work doesn't look the same. And that's something else I noticed in the comments. Like, even if we're looking at, you know, something religious or faith-based or any category, for me specifically, if what somebody says or the way they present doesn't resonate with me, I'm not necessarily campaigning for everybody else not to listen to them too. Because if somebody else can get, especially if they call themselves a man of God, and you know, if I state my position and my position is different, that's him and God to deal with. If that person is purposefully misleading God's people, that's a.
I'm glad you said that.
That's a burden that I couldn't do it any justice any more than what God's gonna deal with that person. But it's a bunch of famous or popping people in various disciplines, faith, finance, you know, any other thing. And I'm like, that's just that delivery is not for me. But I wouldn't dare like tell you,
no, that's real.
Hey, you know, I don't like so-and-so.
Yeah, that's real.
If our relationship was such that I knew where it was going to go, maybe, but I'm not going to jump online and like, here's why I don't like so-and-so. Somebody else may be getting what they need from that person.
Yeah.
Right? Now that, again, if that person is blatantly misleading or causing harm, I think there's a duty to speak out against that.
You have to. Yeah.
But if I don't like the way you sing, I don't listen to your song.
Right. Yeah. No, that's dope. That's dope. That's something we need to get better at too, man. We quick to, if we disagree with something, not caring if it helps somebody else understand. Oh, listen to me. Yeah. They don't play no games. It's just, and to me, a lot of times when people do that, it's like they're, like you just said, they're not thinking of other people.
Yeah, they just find their existence.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
Yeah.
Throw it out there and hope somebody agree with them.
Right. Yeah, that YN term, man. I can't stand it, bro. Every time I see the videos, I just, especially and then the women been on it heavy. Like, I'm gonna find me one of these young brothers, you know, where the YNs, you know, they paying bills and doing this and doing that, and and then you look in the comments and you see those younger brothers or younger men, respond to that. Very impressionable minds, and a lot of them, even if they ain't in their life, they'll see a beautiful woman in their eyes that they think is reachable based on if I do certain things. They'll jump in the DM and flash some money or roll it up their arm. Like, I seen you, like, what's up? And that woman could play around, say something like, you cute, or you boom boom, not knowing that you're helping reinforce. And it's dangerous until it was something you said, until it's real, until you realize, you know what I'm saying? Like, I done seen women talk about thinking it's sexy or it turned them on, you know what I'm saying, when they get in the car and they got their gun on them, or when they set the gun on my counter, like the YNs, and I'm like, you ain't understanding these are the same guns that we are killing one another with, and you're reinforcing the culture by him coming in, certain walk, he came in dressed a certain way. The financial literacy of the YNs is not there. So when you saying certain things, they'll go blow their money. Don't care nothing about saving, none of that. They trying to get the woman, and they trying to impress, and they think the older men are scared. Let me tell you something my daddy told me. He said, a scared man will kill you.
Quick. And probably get off.
And get off. Young brother, you had the weapon on you, the way you carry yourself, your social media. I promise you, young brother, you're going to be a free kill.
When I went to get my, went through what was it? The weapon safety course in Virginia, you had to go to a police course, at least back then, before you can get your concealed carry license. And it was a retired cop that was teaching the class. And he said, open the class. He said, why do you think most people going to jail? Why do you think most people go to jail? Kind of quiet. Why do you think most people go to jail?
Mm-hmm.
Because they did something wrong. Yeah, because they did something wrong. He said, for what they say.
Wow.
He said, if you're in a position where you have to choose somebody else's life or your life, your only answer is, I was in fear for my life. And we make this kill culture popular because it looks like protection. Nobody gonna play with you. Nobody gonna play with you if you with me. That's the other piece of it. I want to feel protected. No, you want to be ducking shots is what you. For some reason, you're attracted to that, and that's one thing that I keeps me up at night sometimes is how am I managing the pull between the world and my kids? Because like I said before, I came from a great home, but there was just something about life that was different in my house that was a little more attractive that, thank God, I didn't get the punishment I was due for my actions at every stage. Direct, being around, being associated, like I was, thank God. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, man, there was no internet. This is just from being around people, and I saw people, let alone jumping on a phone or a laptop or whatever, seeing whatever you want, wherever, and reimagining life through those eyes. That is a scary thing for me of parents with kids of all ages.
It is, and a lot of the parents are aware that their children are the term that people are using. Yeah. And a lot of them parents won't stand up neither and put the police on their kids. I believe you should. If you know your child,
the window, down the mountain.
If you know your child, your son, let's start with the men. If you know your son is carrying illegal weapons with the switch on it, with the extendo, I'm asking you as a parent, would you put the law on them, or would you take the guns and do something with them? Or are you cool with...
Would you intervene?
Yeah, would you intervene? Or are you cool just repeating yourself? If your son selling drugs, you know the system ain't built for us. Not saying, would you flush it, intervene, do something? Now, I know you probably feel like ain't nothing in your power you can do. He gonna do it anyway. Would you lock him up? Because if he sells somebody at fentanyl and they overdose, he going to jail. If he get caught with it, he's a felon. Now he still want to use his weapon because he still want to sell dope and want to protect himself. He putting himself in the blender. That's what they call it in the penitentiary. So what are you doing as a parent to intervene when you know your child fit the description of who, I'm going to jump out there, we know the police firing off on in them predicaments? Because the YN mentality gonna buck. The YN mentality gonna feel like they invincible. It ain't like them bullets really they don't realize that you really can die and you don't come back. This is not a police shot me, reset, came back, like told my homie, yeah, police pulled me over, tried me. You know what I'm saying? I jumped out, ran, boom, boom, boom. He pulled a gun, I upped up on him, boom, boom, boom. He hit me. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm back. No, he threw. What are you doing to intervene?
Yeah.
Realize my mama, the reason I'm saying this is a filter. Because my mama will put the police on me. If you done read my book, you know several times. If I came home, my mama, we're going to the police department, you going down there to tell them. Now, I ran every time. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't go. But my mama was cool with, you'll go to jail. You gonna go, because you ain't finna be, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So my mama was cool with sending me to jail.
Parenting is a verb, man. It's the action word.
Yeah.
It doesn't end. And when you're talking about if you saw your son or whoever selling drugs, like we can't write that off his phases. Like that's just the phase he going through. That's just what he listened to. That's just what he doing right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like you don't have no crystal ball for when
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
that run.
And what's his language on his phone? If he got that switch and that extendo, he hustling, smoking, probably drinking here and there, going out, going to little spots. You know what I'm saying? Probably got him an older woman. I promise you, his conversation with his homeboy is even worse. Man, yeah, them ninjas and sisters, man, they got me. Let them roll through here. Look, the conversation of feeding it, and I'm speaking from experience.
Yeah.
I'm speaking from I lived it. Like I remember them moments of not even knowing why I didn't like dude. I live out south. He live on the hill. I'm clutching because you see dude right there. You see, you know what I'm saying? They done came all the way over here off the hill. I don't even know why I don't like this dude. And then you got other young brothers around you. Yeah, let him roll through here again. You pressured, even if you didn't mean what you said.
Your turn to act.
Yeah, because now that he done said, I'm going to pop it off if they come back around here, you have to. Like this, it's scary, bro. It is scary, the mindset that you get in as a young brother, man. Peer pressure, conditioning, just feeling like you need validation from your friends, from society, from social media. You know what I'm saying? When it come to how you dress, which if you gotta, what I forgot what Ari said. How you gonna something if he ain't got no blicky? Like the things, the sounds that trend in women, and now you feeling like you gotta have a blicky or you gotta have a Zypack, and you gotta, man, you going to jail or the grave, bro. And you probably say, man, it's unk. I did, and get what? I went jail. I went to juvie, jail, and the penitentiary. I'm telling you what the result is.
It's good enough for me.
You ain't got to hear me. I promise you, you'll be just like me in that cell and saying, man, such and such said it. And even in there, you guess what you're going to have to continue to do because your name done reached in there.
You're in there now.
You're going to have to. It's a never ending cycle, man. It's a never ending cycle, man. So, yeah, I hate that for our young brothers, man. I really do.
Yeah, I'm making a concerted effort to not play with it.
Yeah.
Not put it on people by saying it or laughing at it or even silently.
Yeah.
Working internally to stop assuming things. You know, you got to be aware. Don't abandon being aware of your surroundings. But, but projecting that when it's not even warranted, man, that's something I'm working on.
Because I'm going to throw this in there, man. We see the power when we stand together.
Mm-hmm.
When they said don't shop at Target, they showed the numbers.
Mm-hmm.
They took a hit.
Yeah, they ready to talk to Al Sharpton there.
Yeah. Even though we had already put trillions of product in their pocket.
Yeah, it's oh man.
Just imagine what it would be like. Go ahead.
I was trying to think, did I go out the window this episode?
Jump on out there.
and man, I don't have the facts. I'm just saying I don't have the facts. So this is just hypothetical. I don't know when DEI was implemented or if Target was in business before then. Let's say Target was. Let's say any company was in business. DEI initiatives were implemented by law. Company adjusts to the law. We celebrate the company adjusting to the law because it seems pseudo benefit to diversity, equity, inclusion. So we believe that means it's going to be better for us. The law changes. Company follows the law.
I see where you're going.
We're mad at the company for following the law. We didn't realize before we were celebrating them.
I feel you.
Following the law. Hypothetically.
First time I heard it that way.
So now I got to go get the data on that. But this is something that's been, I'm like, if you're a business owner and you're required to follow a law that makes business more difficult for you, that's a hit you got to take.
Right.
the moment that law is relaxed to allow you to operate differently.
As a business owner.
You know what? I'm going to keep this expense because that was a good law.
I don't have to. It's real though. I respect that. Me as a business person, I promise you, there's a lot of things that a lot of people will be like, for real, Joe T, I'm a businessman.
Let's get with it with the tariffs. Tariffs go up, your prices go up.
Mm-hmm.
When the tariffs come down, you're going to keep your prices up, right? Because that was a good law.
Man, listen here. No good.
What, but why not? The law just changed.
The law just changed.
Yeah, but it changed back. But I prefer to charge you.
I'm going to go ahead and bust your head.
I'm going to keep charging you $100 because at one point I had to charge. Yeah.
And you were paying for it.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah, going back, the power, man. If everybody, when everybody was wearing jerseys real heavy, Jay-Z said something about them jerseys, everybody quit wearing them.
Button up.
Yeah, everybody. Same thing with anything. You quit responding to people's videos, they'll quit making the content. You quit laughing and quit, you know what I'm saying, and really shaming it. I did a message this morning of calling certain things out, letting it know it's not acceptable. They'll shift it. But a lot of people don't have the discipline or the whatever that is to stand on that, man. And that curb everything. Yeah. They'll quit making that. The minute you make it, if I make a video talking about a YN, make $1,500 and everybody laughing and thinking funny, of course I'm gonna make another video. That's how they looking at it. You let them know we ain't watching it. That ain't working. That ain't working.
Yeah.
They'll quit doing it. Yeah, women, you quit acting like that's attractive. Let them know you want businessmen and people who got jobs and people who take care of the men who take care of their kids. They'll see y'all. That ain't attractive.
Yeah. And men do that.
Yeah.
I'm saying to the men, do that.
Do that. Yeah. Take care of your business. Yeah, take care of your business. Right. And then, older men, quit portraying what it looked like because you still stuck in that. You still stuck in this what it looked like to be a young ninja. Because you never evolved or matured to a man, and now you got younger dudes who look at you from the way you dress, from the way you talk, what you listen to, how you talk about women, and they think that's the play. And then they won't listen to grown men because they got slow unk thinking he's still cool. No, sir. And pay attention to unk. He might be selling dope and got a little money. Get what? My dad always told me, if they can't show you something, ain't no sense in listening to him. He can't teach you nothing. Still single, never been married, which means he got a problem with commitment. That's my opinion. Don't take care of his children. He'll trick off on a woman before he take care of his own kids. The music that he listens to all the time, listen to me, let you know his mind frame is tore up. Ask him for some real advice that requires vulnerability, emotional attachment. Ask him something spiritual. He can't give you nothing that'll feed your spirit, nothing that can help elevate your mind, stimulate your mind, look at something, none of that. He probably let your football game and your basketball game because he think you the next athlete. He don't know nothing about telling you, go ahead and you continue to go to school, get your education. Why would he? He dropped out. He ain't got no education. To him, he don't think education even makes sense. You know why? Because he done made his money illegally all his life. And when we get to 60, he ain't gonna have nothing. Man, listen, I go on and on. But ask him, if you consider yourself to be a YN, hopefully you don't, the next dude you look up to as a role model or you know what I'm saying, and carry that, ask him. Do that with your rappers too. Lil Baby and them and the Kodaks, which he a rich junkie. Yeah, and I said, I'm not gonna go back and forth with you. Listen to any of their music other than Waka Flocka. The only one I feel like give, you know what I'm saying, educational advice when it comes to finances or whatever, spiritual and anything. But listen to all your rappers that you idolize. Tell me something other, and don't mention Money Man, because he just as bad, but he'll, because I'm trying to make sure y'all don't try to get in front of me, because y'all will name one person out of 100 and make it like it's cool. Name one that has gave you financial advice that set you financially free but that ain't still got you thinking selling dope is the way. Because they rich now. They got property, they got land, they got businesses, but in their music, they got you popping pills, drinking syrup, chasing women, sleeping without condoms on, catching STDs. Yeah, half of you young ninjas is sick. You just ain't been to the doctor. They ain't told you to go to the doctor. Half of them got herpes, and brother Yaki done exposed half of them because they got the money to pay for it to get that herpes up off of them. And I could keep going, but show me somebody that's helped educate and stimulate your mind before you sit up here and try to make an argument as to why it's cool. Young ninja.
Yeah, waiting for her to go to the doctor is not a strategy, bro.
It ain't.
But that's such the advice.
Yeah.
Let her go.
When the last time you been to the doctor? Yeah. Don't say it again so you get that clip good. When the last time you been to the doctor anyway? Bro. Yeah, bro. I'm good, bro. Yeah. Two grown men, man.
Two grown men just had a conversation.